in decades is threatening millions in Eastern Africa. Resources at refugee camps are being drained quickly. Each day, thousands more show up, desperate for food, water, and shelter. Massive amounts of aid are needed to help stave off this catastrophe, but many nations are falling well short of their pledges. So let's speak with actress Kristin Davis now. The Sex and City star is a global ambassador for Oxfam and has just returned from Kenya. She toured the Dadaab refugee camp where she witnessed some of the misery caused by this disaster, and she joins us now live from LA. Kristin, thanks for joining us. You were in Dadaab because you happened to be in Tanzania, and then you heard about this situation. What did you see when you got to that refugee camp?
Well, I was really unprepared. I had seen the numbers of how many new people were arriving each week, estimated at about 9,000 a week, new people coming to Dadaab. But it's one thing to see the numbers, and it's another thing to actually get there. And I've really never seen anything like it. I've never seen the level of kind of panic and fear. You know, a lot of the children are dying along the way or dying as soon as they reach the camp. The camp is overwhelmed, so there's not room for the newcomers inside the camp. So the people we met are kind of just huddled outside the official camp trying to make do with pretty much nothing. So it was pretty shocking.
And I'm sure it must be pretty emotional with the stories that you must have been hearing from those people who walked, what, 20 days to get there?
Yes, many of them walked 20 days. Mostly I met women and children. So it really is a very heart-wrenching. I've been trying to hold myself together, but it's stunning what these people have been through. And then to think that when they get there, there aren't the supplies to give them the aid that they believed they were walking towards. You know, it just makes you feel like it's not possible in 2011 that this would be happening. But at the same time, I also saw just incredible generosity. Many of the women I met had picked up unaccompanied minors who are probably orphans, but we don't know for sure, along the way. Like they would just see these children wandering along that they'd never met. And one woman had 4 children of her own, and then she picked up 7 additional children. She was robbed by bandits of her clothes and every possession she had, and yet she brings all of these children with her and can't get into the camp, but yet is trying to provide, you know, safety to them with really nothing. So you see these people, you see how strong they are, and you just want to help them.
And what other stories have you heard that, I mean, the rest of the world needs to hear, do you think, for us to actually meet these calls for donations?
Well, it's a tough situation because I know that times are hard, and economically, you know, there's a lot of struggle here in the U.S. and Canada and Europe. But to me, at least, you know, if there are women and children who don't even have a drink of water, it just brings home to me that we're human beings, we're all together. You know, even $1 is so incredibly helpful to them. I think also awareness is really important. You know, these are people who've been stuck in a situation that they really had nothing to do with. Somalia has had, you know, civil war basically for a very long time. Now there's this horrible drought. There are parts of Somalia where it has not rained for 6 years. Like, that's crazy to try to think about. And these are people who are trying to make their living from farming or from, you know, herding goats. And so if there's nothing for them to eat, I mean, when I was there and I kept thinking, why would you leave your home? How horrible must it be to leave your home to come to this? The Dadaab camp is not anyway nice, you know what I'm saying? So it's really got to be extreme. And so I feel like from a personal point of view, I think awareness is hugely important. That's why I'm talking about it. When I met these people, I told them that I would tell their story. So that's what I'm trying to do.
You've been with Oxfam for 6 years now, and from what you've seen with this influx of people, do you think that these aid groups in the camp can actually handle what's happening right now if there was enough money?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was so impressed because all of the aid groups have banded together. All of the NGOs have banded together. I spoke to the UN High Commission on Refugees. You know, there are supplies that are ready to go. We just need the extra funding because no one expected this huge influx. So they weren't there already set up. You know, we need more camps to be built. We need those camps to be opened. Everyone is ready. Everyone has their own job. For Oxfam in a disaster, what they do is water and sanitation. Hugely important things to these people. And they're very ready. I mean, I witnessed The team, I was incredibly impressed. I was in London. I know the warehouses are full there. They just need the funds to send it to where it needs to go. I also know there's many other charities who are ready in their vein, their particular things that they've been assigned to do. And they're also very impressive and very ready. And that's what it takes. It takes a group. And that's why I'm speaking out about it. I feel like sometimes we get caught up in, our nationalities or our groups or, the walls that divide us. And this is a time when everybody's human and, just from a human point of view, what can we do to help?
It's a great message. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That's Oxfam's Global Ambassador, Kristin Davis, speaking with us from LA. Coming up on CBC News Network, the sex abuse scandal in Ireland's Catholic Church lives on.